Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series, and I think this is the last sketch of this batch of sketches I did. All in all, it's like 6 sketches or paintings. So this is the last one. I do enjoy this one because I think this was the one that had the most colors. It's like the most vibrant one. I think I got tired of the monochromatic stuff, and the color scheme isn't that crazy. It's very like analogous. Like it's all like blues and greens. Like the hues are very close to, or they're right next to each other essentially. So it has a very like aquatic theme to it. Um, and yeah, I'm also using a flat brush, but it's very different from the last one. This one does have a bit of a like a watercolor paper texture to it. So it is giving a bit of a. I do remember the feeling when I was painting this. It felt very easy. So I guess doing these sessions, these quick sessions, helps me to figure out what brushes fit me best. Maybe it depends also on the subject matter. But when you limit yourself to these like super short sessions, it can feel like, oh, you're not doing much, like you're not really like diving deep. But you can actually learn quite a bit if you do. Maybe if you just do one short session, you may not learn as much. But imagine doing a batch of like 5 to 7 minute sketches, and you do like 10 of them. I mean, and each one is gonna be somewhat different from the previous one. I think you're gonna learn a thing or two about something, and it's kind of cool about. It's cool. This is something that's not as, I guess, advertised. It's the idea of self-exploration. Like you can find yourself a little bit through your art. You know, like what you like, what you don't like. And a part of that is being frustrated, right? But once you're in that process, you sort of figure out what can get you out of that frustration, or you also figure out maybe what leads to that frustration. Like what context on average makes you frustrated, and you can only do that when you do a bunch of work. And if you want to save time, I think you can speed up the process by simply shortening the amount of time you paint per sketch, but you make a lot of it. So it's almost like you're doing a rapid fire of it's like a crash course on some kind of experience. I'm not sure if this is like totally legit. I'm just sort of feeling the answer right now, and I'm just making shit up, but I feel like I'm right. When you do these kinds of sessions, I feel like you can speed things up. And I'm realizing that the actual recording box, maybe I should change it because it's actually not capturing like the full picture. There's like extra bits at the top here which you can't see, and at the bottom a little bit, which, yeah, I feel like you're missing out. So I may have to change that in my recording software. But so now I'm adding the eyes. But look at the sketch here. Yeah, it's chaotic, it's crazy, it's wild. But look at the energy. Number one, yeah, it's a flat brush. I'm only using one brush, but because it's in pen tilt, look at how diverse this thing looks. Then you add to that pen tilt flat brush colors. Now, is it a crazy color scheme? Not really. It's analogous, meaning these colors are right next to each other. So it's not necessarily complementary. The only thing that's kind of different here, and that's kind of the odd one out, would be like the orange or reddish part over here. So it gives you a little bit of the, like, it's the only warm-ish area, so, and it's kind of the odd one out. But that's more of like an accent, like a special color. But the main set of, the main palette here, it's all like aquatic looking colors. You know, like blues, greens, blue-greens. Maybe a tad bit of like yellows in there for the eyes, right? So yeah. Like, is this thing detailed? Not really, but you get the vibe. Like, you get the vibe. You can always go back to like this very quick sketch, and you can define it. You can even add some like photos to it, and then you can paint on top of it to add more details. You can do so much, but I think this is fun. This is fun because you can check, like you can focus on something specific, right? Even if you're not too clear with the idea, and like it's not that detailed, but at least you can be specific when it comes to like the mood of it, to the vibe of it, right? To the like the main sort of shape silhouette. You don't have to figure everything out in this quick phase. Like you can't do everything and solve every like problem in 5 or 10 minutes, but you can solve quite a bit. Or the big stuff, the silhouette, the big shapes, the shape language, maybe a little bit, the general color scheme, the atmosphere, perhaps, the pose, the composition. Yeah, even though it's messy, if you figure all of these things out, which you can in this like phase, it's gonna make the detailing and the rendering easier in the following stage, which will take time because in rendering, adding details, they take so much time to do. But the essentials have been figured out in this stage. So this one is one of those. I'm not just inspired by Ava or Evangelion, the mecha anime, but also this film, or the series of films, the Pacific Rim something. The Jaeger designs, the big mechas fighting the kaijus. I think I'm butchering the song, but I do like it. I know the second film was kind of I mean I liked it, but I do get the criticism where in the first film you can feel like the weight of the mecha of the Jaeger, like it actually looks heavy, like there's a bit of a lag with the way they move. In the second film, it looked more like a Power Rangers, meaning it was too fluid. Maybe the technology improved, but there was something epic because in the first film, because of that sort of lag, because of the amount of weight, it feels large and it feels like powerful. Like if this thing, if this mecha, if this Jaeger were to hit you, or this kaiju, or the kaijus in that movie, like you could feel like, oh shit, that would probably hurt. So I get it. But the visuals, it's definitely like I see more bright colors in the second film. In the first film, it was a lot of dark scenes, which I get because it saves the budget. Usually, whenever you have a film that's like in a darker setting, it's so you don't have to render things out completely, because when everything is somewhat lit, you're gonna need to show some details, and like it's just obvious to see what you're lacking. But if you have like a dark setting, you can sort of get away with a couple of things. By the way, it reminds me of a film, Alien vs Predator Part 2. Super dark. I was very like annoyed when I think we watched it in the theaters. It was so freaking dark. Eventually, I decided to download it, right? But because I remembered watching it in the past, so I just felt like downloading it to see if I could if it did change. But even in the digital version, it was still dark as frick. Which did kind of ruin my experience. It wasn't even like cool dark. It was just like to the point where you're annoyed. Like what's happening? Where's the Jaeger? Where's the Predator? Where's the Xenomorph? Like it was just too much. There comes a point where something is just too dark. Add some spotlights or something. Yeah. Okay. This video did loop. My bad. But yeah, just look at me, pick from my color wheel here. Yeah, again, I'm noticing there's a huge chunk here at the top, which you can't see, which is not being recorded. It's like about an inch, half an inch worth of like space. So I'm gonna have to change like the recording area in my next batch. But so far, this is good. This is good. Oh, and by the way, when I color pick, it's the first button of my like. Excuse me, what stylus pen? I used to do the Alt thing on my keyboard. That's how I learned from like Feng Shui. But sort of naturally, I just thought, why should I have to hit the keyboard to like color pick? If I use it that much, why not just make it into the button? So my button has, I think in Clip Studio Paint, it's right click. That's what activates the color picker. So yeah, for Clip Studio Paint, the first button closest to the tip of the stylus pen is, I think, right click, right? Now the second button, the one at the top, I think for me, my personal shortcut is S, and what that does is it unlocks the subtools, so it helps me pick the brush way faster. I have the same sort of system in Photoshop, right? like when you right click, I think it opens up the brush sort of box, so it helps you pick out brushes way faster. But yeah, anyway, oh, another tip: if you're drawing with a pen display, try to find a monitor. I have a stand instead of an arm, and what this does is I can actually set it to the point where it hits my desk. Because for my monitor arm, it doesn't go long or low enough. So when I do record with like a phone or something that's not a screen recording, it's like from a camera, from a phone, it wobbles too much and it's just too annoying. And it kind of like not just for the viewer, but even when I'm drawing, that wobbling is gonna be just, it's gonna affect negatively my painting drawing process. So I did have this full pen display tablet sort of set and resting on my desk, and if I'm done sort of doing this thing, sketching, then I can simply raise it up and turn it into like a normal monitor where it's where you can see it like directly in front of you and not sort of down and in an angle. And the reason why you want to put it in your desk or have it laid in your desk is it doesn't wobble, and that's it. So it makes the viewing experience, not just the viewing experience, but also the drawing, painting experience a lot more stable, right? So yeah, flat brush, try it out. Again, just use like a round brush and simply squish it. You can do this in Clips with the Paint, Photoshop, and yeah, check them out. Or try them out. You don't need super complex stuff. But yeah, I'll try to do the same thing, but in the next batch of videos, we're gonna be doing referenced stuff. So we're gonna step away a little bit from doing stuff from like random strokes from imagination, and we'll do more like referenced stuff. We'll try to keep the same like time limit, minimum of 5 minutes, maximum of like 10 minutes, and we'll do like we'll say 6 to 7, about a week's worth of videos. I don't know. And then in the next batch after that, then we'll go back to more imaginative stuff and we'll see if anything has changed. How about that? Oh, someone has a plan. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.